Are they starting to show some signs of weakness? Well, Akil Vias, who's an Arsenal fan and board member of the supporters group, has joined us. Are you panicking?
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah. I think there was nerves. There's been nerves in the stands probably since that Man United game, to be honest. Obviously, we went to the Brentford and got a draw, which a draw in isolation at Brentford's not bad. But Wolves being 2-0 up, you don't expect to draw that game and to kind of concede at the end. But there was something in that second half. We just weren't on it. You know, there was that incident in the corner, which was just bizarre when Eze and Rice were debating who takes it or whatever. It's nerves, it's mentality, it's certainly not ability.
And you've got Wolves taking the mickey out of you a little bit on TikTok as well.
Yeah, but
They're bottom of the league and they're taking the mickey.
Yeah, but you know, I'm sure a club as big as Arsenal will just ignore all that kind of stuff. Focus on what's important, and that's today.
Ignore the noise, Akil.
Exactly. As Mikel says, we're going to take bullets. You just have to ignore them. And he actually said we deserve it this week because that's how bad that performance at Wolves was. But it's all about today now.
If everyone's fit, what's your best attack?
That's a really good question. It does depend. Depends on the opposition. I love Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is fit. I play Kai Havertz.
As the 9?
As the 9, yeah, as the 9. I think he brings people into play well. He scores goals, and that's not, you know, Victor Gyökeres has only been there a couple of months. You know, it takes time.
Oh, come on, he's been there longer than a couple of months.
Yeah. Maybe I'm being generous. But certainly Kai Havertz, obviously Bukayo Saka starts right, and then on the left it is dependent on the game. You know, Trossard's had a great season, but he's probably tailed off a little bit.
Is he better coming off the bench, Trossard?
Maybe, but this season he's been a little bit different.
So where do you play Madueke then?
Well, that's the thing. Madueke's had a really good, strong month.
On the right.
And his best position's on the right. But Bukayo Saka is a match winner. So it's tough. And Gabby Martinelli's done really well in cup games as well. You know, would you be tempted to put Eze out on the left? Because it hasn't quite happened for him in the centre in certain games. It's tough. I think Saka starts. For me, Havertz would always start. I know he's not fit at the moment. And then the left is just dependent on the game.
Saka quickly, as a 10, did you like that?
I liked it. Probably need to see more of it. I'm not a fan of changing positions mid-season. I don't know. It was obviously Wigan, and with great respect to Wigan, we will have harder challenges. So, you know, I think if the captain's fit, he does fit in the Mikel way of playing. I think you just have to see how it goes.
Akil, another reason you're here is to talk ticket prices, which obviously doesn't apply today because you're away, but as a general rule, you're pretty upset about the prices at Arsenal at the minute. In fact, they raised them in the week, and there's a Category A plus ticket, which is about £168, which is off the scale, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I mean, I think I've known Henry for a while, and one of the reasons why I got involved in the Supporters Trust and the FSA was around ticket pricing. You know, I'm very passionate about it growing up. Football is a release for so many people. You know, you go to football, you forget about life, you forget about everything, but you're coming to a stage where it's becoming very unaffordable for people, very unaffordable. If you're even just going on your own, it's expensive. If you're taking kids, I mean, I've got 2 kids who I hope will be as passionate about the Arsenal as me, will take over from me essentially. To take them to a big game, it's going to cost me more than £300, which is absolutely, you can get a little holiday for that. That is expensive, and I'll continue to fight it. On balance, you know, Arsenal do have a good entry-level price. You know, the Category C games, even though we're seeing less and less of those, are from about £30. So there is some good stuff there as well. But I would urge Arsenal and I would urge football to just keep it affordable.
But you're on the board that talks to these people. So what are they saying to you when you say, come on, that's not good enough, that's way too much?
You know, the cost of living, cost of.
But what did they say to you when you complain?
Yeah. Cost of living, cost of, things have gone up, just in football as well, with wages, all that sort of stuff. But we'll always come back to it. The rise will probably get Arsenal about £6 million this year. So we feel there's other ways of getting that. And I think the fans is the one thing that should be protected. And we do tell them this, and we will. And then, to be fair, they listen in certain parts. You know, we feel we've restricted the rise as much as we could. That's not good enough, I know. But it's ultimately, we can only advise, we can give our views, we can't control.
Presumably they then point to Bukayo Saka, new deal, fans' favourite, not going to come cheap.
Yeah, not directly, but obviously that is, if you go on kind of social media and stuff, there will be that argument. But again, I just think there's so much money in football with the broadcasting, with commercials and stuff like that, that actually 6 million, you can get that elsewhere.
Well, when we see what's happening with ticket prices, as you say, it's a league-wide issue. Is a lot of it tied in with what we're seeing with FIFA, general Americanization of English football?
Possibly. You've got, I mean, the World Cup prices. I know you've covered a lot on the World Cup, and they are absolutely, sky high. The Club World Championship was also quite expensive, and it resulted in empty stadiums. Now, whether that will happen for the World Cup, I don't know. We will have to wait and see. It's tough. I mean, we through the FSA called for a season-wide or a league-wide prize freeze. So that means any competitive advantage is no longer there.
Don't see that one happen.
We were ignored on that. Hopefully, that we'll push harder on that again next year, because we need to do something about those really high end prices.
Well, keep up the fight, Akil. But back on the pitch, what are you expecting this afternoon?
At the moment, it's obviously a mental thing. It's nerves. We were 7 points or so clear. We're not anymore.
Well, yours aren't helping them, I've got to say.
And you saw last night at City were pumped. So the pressure's on. I mean, we faced Michael Carrick when he had just taken over. We now face a new manager at Spurs. So they're a lot more. They're bouncing at the moment, but. We are a very, very good football team, and we know if we turn up, we can win the game. And we just have to ignore the noise, play our football, and as fans, we're just hoping for the best.
Well, when Mikel was talking the other day about ignore the noise or embrace the noise, do you think he was also talking to the fans as well? Because you will play a part today. If there's one hint of nerves, if Tottenham are on top early on, that is bad news for the Arsenal players. You've got some winners in there. You look at Gabriel and Declan Rice. They will be in the running for Player of the Year, Footballer of the Year. Don't you think it's also up to the fans to set the tone?
Absolutely. And believe me, the 3,000 at Spurs will be up for it. Even in those dark sort of Wenger, Unai Emery times, Spurs home and away, there's no doubt about that. Arsenal fans get behind the club all the time. Don't get me wrong, but Spurs is special. But we do not want to leave that stadium having lost. And actually, the last 3 years, we've won. So we've got a good record there. And you're right. I mean, Mikel said in his press conference, he said 15 years ago, we were all wanting to be here. Now we're here. Yeah, okay, we were in a better position a month ago, but we're still in it. We just have to believe. And the players need to believe as well. Mikel needs to believe. Everyone needs to believe. But absolutely, we need to do our bit today. And we will, believe me.
Akil Vias, Arsenal fan and board member of the supporters group, finishing on an optimistic note. Good luck, Akil. This is Sunday edition on TalkSport with Sean Custis and Henry Winter. And next up, we'll look back at a dreadful afternoon for English rugby.